Okay, we are out here stargazing. Very exciting. It's towards the end of the Hebrew month. There's almost no moon. And we can see a lot of stars. I'm out here, when I go stargazing, I come with my laser pointer. So this laser pointer. And this, especially with the dust around Beit Shemesh, you see right up to the stars. It goes right through and you can see. So I'm looking now, and you look up at the sky, the first things you see, the brightest stars, are actually the planets from our solar system. They're not stars, they're not burning balls of gas, they're planets which you can actually walk on. In Hebrew we call them kochvei lechet, a star that you can walk on, as opposed to a ball of gas that you can't walk on. It's actually funny because Jupiter, Tzedek, is also considered a kochav lechet, and you cannot walk on Jupiter. Jupiter is actually a big ball of gas itself, and if you ever make it to Jupiter, you just fall to the center of Jupiter. Jupiter is a massive, massive planet, and so, yeah, it's pretty awful death. You'd be reduced to a pinhead in seconds, and there's no surface on Jupiter. Now, when I look up, what I can see directly up and a little bit to the east, we can see Mars. That is Mars over there. Mars is a red planet. It was considered by the Romans the planet of war, the god of war. Actually, the Gemara speaks about Wednesday, the day of Mars, being a day that influences you towards blood, and you can either become, whoever's born on a Wednesday is influenced towards blood, so he can either become a murderer. If he works someone on himself, he'll be somebody who draws blood, or a person that, or a mohel and a shochet, which is a good thing. Now, once you find one of the planets in the solar system, try and look for the next one, because there's a line called the ecliptic. And the ecliptic, it's an amazing thing that all the planets in the solar system rotate on the exact same line, like a pizza pie. It's very unusual because a lot of them rotate in very different ways. You have Earth rotates on its axis, and then Uranus that rotates the other way. It's like it's lying on its side. But they all follow the same route along this like pizza pie tray. And so if you find the line, if you find two planets, you'll find all the visible planets. Now let's try and find the ecliptic. Okay, so that's Mars up over there. Listen. That's Mars up over there. Now, the line actually goes this way. The line, the ecliptic is like so. And the next two planets are actually over there. We can see Saturn and Jupiter. The very bright one, really the brightest object in the sky after the moon, is usually Jupiter. I actually think now Mars is brighter, but these things change. Okay, now what's very interesting is you can see Jupiter a little lower down and Saturn just above it, right? The ecliptic again is like so. I cannot see any other visible planets. Which ones would I be looking for? Venus, Mercury. They're on the other side. There we can't see them. They're next to the sun when it's daytime for us. We can't see them now. They actually go, maybe in the southern hemisphere you can see them. But anyway, we have this line. Now, Saturn and Jupiter are very close. And they're actually going to collide soon. Collide. They are so far apart, you can't even imagine the distances. If the moon is 380,000 kilometers from us, Jupiter is about 300 million kilometers from us. Okay, Saturn is a little closer, but still we're talking about millions of kilometers. If you scaled it down to size, you would put a ball like in the middle of a football field and then spread the balls out that far apart. So it's really very far. But for us, it looks like they're colliding. And astrologists always speak about planets that cross each other or stars that cross each other and how they influence. And Chazal also spoke about it. And I just saw a sefer recently that speaks about when the two cross, that it could either be the influences will be good. When we left Egypt, that was when they collided. They only collide once every 25 years. So that's what happened back then. But another time they collided was when we left, when we were kicked out of Eretz Yisrael, when the first temple was destroyed. And so them colliding could mean something bad for us also. It could be good, it could be bad. Let's hope for the best. The way astrologers explain it is that Saturn, Shabtai, has to do with normalizing things, with the world behaving in a regular way. And so the crossing resets that regular situation, and then it could either send us to something good or something worse. A lot of scientists will tell you that astrology is ridiculous, but Judaism actually has a lot of astrology in it, so it's something to consider. Also, the astrology has been seeping more and more into science. We know that, for example, the moon has something to do with women's periods. So we do know that celestial beings control things, have to do with things on Earth. Okay, so that's all the planets we can see in the solar system. There are so many constellations that I can see from here. I can see Sinjus over there and the Lyre just below it. I can't see all the stars in those constellations, but I can see some of them. Actually happens to be that a lot of the northern stars, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, Polaris, the northern star, that's pretty cloudy now. So I hope you enjoyed the stargazing event. Good night.